This is Red Carpet Flies, news on the fly, bringing you daily unique and interesting entertainment, celebrity, and luxury news for November 29th. The fashion world remembers Virgil Abloh. This past Sunday, fashion designer Virgil Abloh passed away from his secret battle with cancer. There has been an outpouring of tributes from the fashion world and Hollywood for the beloved designer on social media. Fashion execs such as Matthew Williams, creative director of Givenchy, and Michael Burke, Louis Vuitton, chairman and CEO, to celebrities like Kim Kardashian have all given their condolences. Ablo was a groundbreaking streetwear artist who became the first Black man to be the artistic director of Louis Vuitton. You may have heard of Virgil before but never really knew who he was. Kanye West, or Ye, referred to him often as they were good friends. In fact, at one time, Kanye was vying for the creative director position at Louis Vuitton at the same time as Virgil. Virgil was extremely creative and worked not only in fashion but helped in sneaker design, art exhibits, and even DJ'd at one point. Ablo is survived by his wife and 2 children. Louis Vuitton will dedicate its Spring-Summer 2022 menswear show in Miami this week to the memory of the creative director, reports Business of Fashion. Miss Kentucky Elle Smith crowned Miss USA 2021. Here she is, Miss America. Well, in this case, it's Miss USA. 51 contestants competed for the title of Miss USA at the River Spirit Casino Resort in Tulsa, Oklahoma on November 29th, but only one could take home the crown, and that was Miss Kentucky Elle Smith. In an article on eOnline, Miss North Dakota Caitlin Vogel was named the runner-up, followed by Miss Florida Ashley Carino and Miss Illinois Sydney Bennett. Smith, who is a journalist at WHAS 11 News in Louisville, succeeds Miss USA 2020 Asia branch. Miss Nevada, Catalina Enriquez, also made history as the first openly transgender woman to compete in the pageant. Congrats to Elle Smith. These beauty pageants are no joke. It brings me back to my pageant days. I competed for Miss San Antonio, and my pageant experience was an interesting one. I was inspired to get into the pageant world because during my junior year of high school, I worked part-time at the BX, which is like a Target or Walmart, on a military base, and my coworker ran and won Miss Teen San Antonio. So that following year, I competed in the Miss San Antonio contest because I turned 18 and I no longer qualified for the teen division. Anyway, it is hard. I just up and did it cold turkey, and these girls had coaches and had been in the pageant world for a long time, and I really didn't realize what I was getting myself into. Needless to say, I was one of the first few girls that were cut in the first round, but I had tons of love and support from my community and my church, so it didn't hurt so bad to lose. I did do another smaller pageant that was hosted by the San Antonio chapter Freemasons and got second runner-up, but after that, I was over pageant life. It wasn't for me. It's much harder than it looks, and it takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and politicking. Did you know you have to sell ad space in the programs that the audience gets at the competition? I wasn't good at selling the advertising space either. It's just hard. So congrats again to Elle Smith, Miss USA 2021. Tessa Thompson teases Michael B. Jordan directing Creed 3. If you want to change things in a big way, then you gotta make big changes. Quote by Rocky Balboa. Creed 3 may be coming to a theater near you. Well, at least that's word on the street, according to Creed co-star and passing actress Tessa Thompson. According to a red carpet interview with Entertainment Tonight at this year's Gotham Awards, the actress opened up about Jordan's hotly anticipated Creed 3. The first film was helmed by Ryan Coogler, with Stephen Caple Jr. directing the sequel. Now Jordan is preparing to star and direct in the third installment. It's been an aspiration of his. He always knew he would direct the third, Thompson shared. I'm excited to support him and to continue the journey of these characters that we love to play. Okay, so I'm not even into boxing movies like that, and I love the Creed franchise. And it's not just because of Michael B. Jordan either. Don't get me wrong, he's a good-looking guy, but I like the movie besides just looking at Mr. Jordan. These movies get me hyped up and motivated. I really like when the boxers spar. I think that's what you call it. When the boxers spar and they put up the stats of each boxer, and they had real boxers in the movies. And I thought that was a nice touch, and I appreciate authenticity. I mean, I wish other movies would follow suit like Wonder Woman. If you're gonna have Amazonian warriors, I wanna see some bodybuilding type women. They don't all have to be bodybuilders, but make me believe. Anyway, I digress. Also, when I'm working out, I listen to a lot of the music from the Creed and Rocky soundtracks because sometimes it's a battle when you're working out and you gotta get in there and get ready for war to whip that body into shape. I've seen a few Rocky movies and I like them too, but I saw them when I was a lot younger, so they didn't resonate as much with me. I've gone back and watched them and I love those too, which is really weird because I'm not really a sports kind of girl. But I do like staying in shape, so a lot of the time when I'm working out, I have to summon my inner baby Creed or Rocky to get through a workout. So I can't wait for this movie to come out. It probably won't come out until 2023 sometime, as it sounds like it's still in development. Berg Ingalls Group is building a sustainable floating city off the South Korean coast. Who remembers the 1995 Kevin Costner post-apocalyptic action film Waterworld, where after the melting of the polar ice caps, most of the globe is underwater, but some humans have survived and they live in a pieced-together floating city? Well, architect Bjarke Ingels is making floating cities a reality in a high-end luxury type of way. It's no secret that rising sea levels pose an existential threat to coastal life. Now, an ambitious new project in South Korea aims to address the climate phenomenon by building a sustainable city unaffected by rising waters because it floats on them. According to the Rob Report, Busan, which is located on the southeastern tip of the Korean peninsula, has reached an agreement with UN Habitat and Oceanics to build what would be the world's first floating metropolis. The project would be completed as soon as 2025 and would provide a blueprint for coastal cities looking to combat climate change. Currently, 40% of the world's population and 90% of its megacities, typically those with populations that exceed 10 million people, are located within 62 miles of major coasts, according to Oceanex's press release. This makes those cities vulnerable to rising sea levels, which could displace millions of people in the coming decades and could cause billions of dollars of damage to property and infrastructure. While Busan may not qualify as a megacity, it is South Korea's largest port city and the fifth largest in the world. The city isn't just vulnerable to rising sea levels, though. It also has been battered by typhoons and flooding in recent years, making it the ideal location for the vital experiment. The prototype for the city off the coast of Busan is designed by the Bjarke Ingels Group and consists of a number of modular, hexagonal platforms that float on the water. It will be able to accommodate about 10,000 people initially and will produce its own food, like scallop and kelps, energy, and fresh water thanks to its fully integrated closed-loop system that creates no waste. The modular design will also help the city withstand natural disasters, including tsunamis, hurricanes, and flooding. Bjarke Ingels is a very renowned architect who has created and built such buildings as The Twist, which is a bridge museum located in Jevnaker, Norway, and spans the Rensleva River, the Lego House in Billund, Denmark, and the Big U in Lower Manhattan, which consists of 10 miles of continuous community and cultural spaces that doubles as cultural protection that spans from West 54th Street, south to Battery Park, and up to East 40th Street. So a few things. This architect, Bjarke Ingels, is amazing. His buildings are like artwork, and the cool thing about his buildings is that they all consider their environment in which they're built around. So the building might be beautiful and artistic, but it also might be more energy efficient due to its design. The Big U is really cool and was born out of the Hurricane Sandy disaster back in 2012. I was living in New York during Hurricane Sandy, and Lower Manhattan was hit really hard by the hurricane, and so was Far Rockaway. It was like a tale of two cities. There was no power in the lower half of Manhattan. Everything under 42nd Street was in the dark and flooded. The Big U was derived from the Rebuild by Design competition followed by Hurricane Sandy and sponsored by HUD and the Rockefeller Foundation. And 10 teams were challenged to come up with an idea to protect Lower Manhattan from future floods. The Big U was developed and is currently being worked on, and as previously mentioned, will create 10 miles of community, cultural, and recreational spaces that will double as flood protection, which is a great idea for utilizing space in an already crowded city. So back to these floating cities. This is Ingels' next project, and the renderings look pretty cool. Would you live in a floating city? Comment below and let me know if you would or would not live in a floating city. I think it would be pretty cool until there's like a hurricane. How does that work out? How do people go about protecting themselves in these floating cities when there's a hurricane spinning around? I think I would live in a floating city, but I got some questions. Well, that's it for Red Carpet Fly's News on the Fly for November 29th. Please like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Red Carpet Fly, and also follow us on Instagram at Red Carpet Fly. And until tomorrow, always stay fly.